Hello everyone, welcome to LolKing's Pick of the Week. My name is Chakrez, and each week we'll be highlighting a champion that we think is really strong in the current meta, whether it's for solo queue, competitive play, or even both. This week we take a look at the recently reworked Poppy, played in the support position. In competitive, she has mainly seen play in this position in Europe, although former world champion Mata has also picked her up in LPL. Let's start by describing the pick. In lane, Poppy is an aggressive support that excels at going for all-in kills. Her level 2 power spike is devastating and can easily lead to a kill, especially if she can successfully use heroic charge into a wall and combine that burst damage with hammer shock and ignite. She is deceptively tanky due to the resistances she gains passively from her W, Steadfast Presence, and her passive, Iron Ambassador, which will periodically grant her a shield based on her maximum health upon picking up the buckler. Her passive also gives her some effective range. While it is up, her next basic attack will be ranged as she throws her buckler. In lane, it mostly means you have some lane harass from range. Poppy's ultimate is a multi-purpose ability, capable of completely changing a fight. The main thing to remember is that the longer you charge it, the further the targets get flung back. If you instant cast the ult, the targets are knocked straight up in the air, albeit being untargetable until they get down. Alternatively, charging the ability up will fling targets back a significant distance, allowing you to either disengage bad fights or turn fights into your favor by isolating a player in a fight. The ability is easily cancelled though, so be careful when you're charging it up in the middle of a fight. In team fights, you are very versatile in what you wish to do. Your main role can be to find a target that you can pin to a wall to burst down with your team, or it can simply be to stay in the back line to peel for a carry when they get jumped on. Poppy's W, Steadfast Presence, can fulfill many roles in a teamfight. Being next to your carry makes it almost impossible for champions like Rengar or LeBlanc to get through, who rely on leaps and dashes to single out carries. If they do manage to get past your W, your arsenal of crowd control in Heroic Charge and Keeper's Verdict will be sure to get the job done. Now let's briefly talk about how to set her up, so you too can start playing support Poppy. For runes, you want to focus on a mix of offensive stats and a lot of tankiness. Rune page 1 is what I would recommend for Poppy, with attack damage marks, flat health seals, magic resistance glyphs, and armor quintessences. If you're a more advanced user with a champion, you can also try running a more aggressive page with attack damage marks, armor seals, flat cooldown glyphs, 2 attack damage, and 1 flat cooldown quintessence. For masteries, 0-18-12 is probably the best setup, as Thunderlord's Decree gives you the most burst that you want to abuse when using Poppy support. However, 0-12-18 isn't unheard of and is still quite good if you have a tougher lane and want to make sure your AD carry doesn't take as much damage. For items, you want to start with Relic Shield and 3 potions. This will grant you the sustain and tankiness you need as a melee support. After this, you should focus on getting your Sightstone and Face of the Mountain. You really benefit from cooldown reduction, and extra health is super useful as it makes your shield from your passive stronger. Your boots should almost always be Boots of Swiftness. Right now, they're the best option available, as they cost the same as Boots of Mobility, but their movement never decays in combat, meaning it's easier to flank and find opportunities to pin opponents to walls with Heroic Charge. After finishing up your core, it will depend on what stats you need for yourself and your team. If you're against a lot of magic damage, grab a Locket of the Iron Solari. If you're against mostly physical damage, grab Deadman's Plate instead. Iceborne Gauntlet is another very good item you can purchase if you find yourself with a lot of money or in late game due to its CDR, armor, and AoE slow, not to mention the extra damage. From there, if the game isn't over, you mostly want to keep building tanky with items such as Warmogs, Randuins, Banshees, Steraks, etc. Now for some tips and tricks. If your passive is up, you can easily do auto plus hammer shock plus auto in a quick succession while they are still stunned, as the passive resets Poppy's auto attack timer. Your passive's auto attack applies item sourced effects, so you can use it to proc Relic Shield, Deadman's Plate, or Iceborne Gauntlet's slow effect from range. And finally, when you aren't close to a wall, you can get creative and use Heroic Charge on a minion to close the gap, and then use Keeper's Verdict instant cast to knock up enemies while the rest of your team catches up. That's going to be all for this iteration of LolKing's Pick of the Week. Stay tuned for more video content in the near future.